Hello, today I'm going to be tying the JP Special Brook Trout Parr streamer. The hook that I'm using is a Mustad C5 2S BLN size 1. The thread is a Semperfli Nano Silk 18-aught white and 24-aught white. Start the thread behind the eye about a quarter of the way back. Make a base and trim the tag. Next, secure the dumbbell 3D eyes from underneath the hook. Secure the wrapping with figure eights and whip finish and add head cement. Next, tie in the orange fox fur already prepared. Remove the long guard hairs and the short fibers. Split the fur down the middle so both sides are equal and tie it underneath the hook. Starting at the base of the eyes and secure it along the straight portion of the hook and trim the excess. Next, add the olive polar fiber from top of the hook, starting behind the eyes, slightly longer than the orange fur, and trim the excess. Next, add the micro olive tinsel fibers over top of the polar fiber and trim the excess. Build up the thread and whip finish. Next, split the thread, wax both sides, and add olive ice dub loosely. Add the dubbing twister, double over the thread, and spin to secure the dubbing. Brush out the dubbing, switch over to a hackle plier, and wrap along the threaded area. Pull the fibers back with your fingers to the base of the eyes. Secure and trim the excess and brush out the dubbing. Next, take a segment of the lighter orange fox fur, split it down the middle, and secure it underneath and behind the eye, slightly shorter than the last piece. Next, tie in the same orange fur and secure it behind the eyes along the sides, left and right. Next, tie in the olive polar fiber on top of the hook. Secure behind the eyes, slightly shorter than the previous wing. Trim the excess orange fur and polar fiber flush with the eyes. Pull the fibers back and hold while securing the trim butts. Next, split the thread, wax both sides, and add orange ice dub loosely. Add the dubbing twister, double over the thread, and spin to secure the dubbing. Brush out the dubbing and switch over to a hackle plier. Wrap the dubbing in behind and in between the eyes and secure by the thread in front of the eyes, and trim the excess. Build up the thread and whip finish and brush out the dubbing. Next, take a segment of black polar fiber and tie it in underneath the hook in front of the eyes to the halfway point between the eyes and the eye of the hook. Take a segment of olive polar fiber and secure it on top of the hook in front of the eyes, slightly shorter than the previous wing. Secure, whip finish, and trim the thread. Next, take the same thread and secure all the fibers, top, bottom, and the sides in behind the eyes. A dozen or so wraps and trim the tag. Next, take a single strand of orange flash, fold it over the thread and secure it along the side of the wing. Trim it shorter than the main wing and repeat on the opposite side and trim the flash even with the other. Take the red thread and wrap it over the white collar, whip finish and trim. Add head cement to the wrap. Next, trim the excess wing material sticking out past the eyes on a taper towards the eye of the hook. Next, start the 24-aught thread in front of the eyes and trim the tag. Split the thread, wax both sides, and add black ice dub loosely. Add the dubbing twister, double over the thread, and spin to secure the dubbing. Brush out the dubbing and switch over to a hackle plier. Wrap the dubbing tight in front of the eyes, going forward edge to edge to the halfway point. Secure and trim the excess. Build up the thread and brush out the dubbing. Next, take a segment of black wing flash, tie it in on the top of the hook in front of the dubbing, slightly shorter than the longest part of the olive polar fiber. Next, take a portion of the white polar fiber, split it in half and secure it under the hook opposite of the black wing flash. Next, take a portion of the black polar fiber and secure it on top of the hook over the black wing flash, so it's slightly longer than the olive polar fiber. Next, take another segment of white polar fiber, split it down the middle and tie it in underneath the hook, slightly shorter than the previous wing. Next, prepare 2 olive dyed grizzly hackle tips. Measure slightly shorter than the longest part of the wing, left and right. Flatten the stems with pliers and secure it on each side of the eyes. Next, prepare a small segment of dyed orange and yellow rabbit strip with the hide attached and secure it underneath the hook as a throat. Trim the excess wing, stems, and rabbit strip on a taper in behind the eye. Build up the thread, whip finish, and trim. Add black thread to cover the white, whip finish, and trim. Use a lighter to eliminate any strands protruding past the eye, and add thinned head cement. Remove the fly from the vise and add the Parr markings along the orange part of the wing, both sides, black and orange permanent marker. Finally, add the final coat over the head.
Thanks for watching. You can subscribe or leave a like if you want. You can check my other videos for more advanced fly tying techniques.